Welcome to the Angel Room. I'm so glad to have you with me here today. And I'm going to talk today about one of my favorite topics when it comes to angels. I absolutely have a favorite archangel, and that archangel is Uriel. That's spelled Uriel. And I would say that Uriel's lesser known than some of the others, and yet when people do things like invoking the four archangels for protection, Uriel is one of them. And one thing Uriel is known for is transmuting negative energy into positive energy. So there's some really great things happening there. We can sure use a lot of that right now in the world, right? So I thought we'd kind of start at the beginning here of Uriel's name. Some things people have asked me over the years, and I've done a ton of research, things I didn't know already, and accumulated this information over decades. And so the name Uriel means light of God. And the origin of that name is Hebrew, and it actually is spelled the same with a little apostrophe before the E, meaning God is my light. So Uriel has also gone by the names Urian, Urgen, Urian, Usiel, Uziel, Oriel, Ariel, and Suriel. So it really kind of depends on the country that you grew up in as to the name you might know this archangel. And Uriel is also called the angel of salvation. Boy, I think that's why that so many people are really getting close to Uriel right now. So many people who before were big Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Gabriel are like, it's Uriel now. And the reason that Uriel's known as the angel of salvation is that he has ties to relief from natural disasters. We're having more and more of those every year. So having God's light reflected upon us is the closest humans can get to being in the actual presence of God. And that leads to Uriel being known as the angel of the presence. So the closest you can get to being in the presence of God himself. Uriel is known within Judaism and Christianity. And there are stories that credit Uriel with being the angel who warned Noah of the impending flood. I love learning about the stories from the Bible, the Quran, other teachings about the archangels and what they did for us historically, what they're known for, the stories that surround them. The primary role of Uriel is healing the planet and bringing peace, teaching us service and devotion. So Uriel assists you with learning to give and freely receive. That's a hard one for a lot of people, especially if you're a light worker. You want to give, and it's hard for you to receive. So it's just as important to learn to gratefully and gracefully receive, knowing that it's like a river flow. Uriel is extremely helpful, again, in transmuting negative energy into positive energy. So when there's something in your life that, whether it's a relationship, things aren't going well at work, you feel like you're not drawing in the people who support you, that's a really good time to think about asking Archangel Uriel for assistance. And later in this show, I'm going to go into that directly. I've written some invocations for specific reasons to call in Archangel Uriel for specific assistance. So I'll help you with that. And I can also, I'm going to write a blog post about this on my Ivory Angelic Medium blog, and it'll have these in it so that you have a way to get it, because it's going to be kind of hard to get it from the show, I understand. The other thing Uriel does is help you completely release anything blocking you from your divine light and your soul purpose. And wow, right now, your life purpose, your soul purpose, your mission, those are all interchangeable terms. That's such a hot topic. You know, I mentioned before about how it's in the news even that millions of people have left their job, and it has nothing to do with being lazy. It has everything to do with them having some time to really reflect on their life, a little bit of breathing time. The pandemic gave us that. Time to do meditation, time to reflect upon ourselves, our life. And people have realized they're not passionate about what they do, and there has to be something more to life than making a paycheck and paying bills. That treadmill that just goes round and round, and it can feel very empty without the passion behind it. So I am a big proponent of that. I believe that we can all find work that we're passionate about, and some people are passionate about a more simple task. Fantastic. It doesn't mean everybody has to rush out and become some sort of spiritual worker. It has nothing to do with the type of work you do, other than that it really feeds your soul, and you'll know if it does or it doesn't. So if you're looking to find your life purpose or your next purpose, because it does change over time, Archangel Uriel is awesome for that. Uriel rules over the 6th ray, which is the color gold, and he has extraordinarily powerful energy and this light that can just blast through any resistance you carry within. So maybe you carry resistance, whether it's conscious or subconscious, to receiving love. Maybe you carry resistance to trust, to trusting people. It could be anything. Resistance to opening up to your spiritual gifts. Resistance to connecting with your angels and guides. Whatever it is, Archangel Uriel is a fantastic way to break through that. So you can ask Archangel Uriel to take that 6th ray and just blast that light through any barriers, any kind of resistance that you carry within. He has extremely powerful vibration, and I've talked about that before. Like, we've talked about what it feels like for you. It can be different for different people to feel angels. How you feel angels is the same way you'll feel archangels, but archangels are such high-level angels that their frequency or their vibration, which is the same thing, is very high. So when an angel touches me, I get chills. And if it's a master guide, a guardian angel, the chills are more high, more intense. If it's an archangel, I get such hard chills head to toe. If I had short hair, I know my hair would be standing on end. And I'll get those hard chills so they almost hurt all over my body. And it's just the human, it's our energetic reaction to the high frequency of angels. And in this case, archangels, even higher. I have found that Uriel is not terribly talkative. When Uriel has something to say, it's succinct, it's to the point. He's just not one, and I really don't know a whole lot of angels that do talk and talk and talk, but particularly Uriel is not very talkative. So you might feel more from Uriel. You might receive a sensation or a feeling, an emotion. You might sense a shift within without ever hearing a word, whether it's with your ears or in your head, if we've discussed before. Uriel tends to communicate subtly, and Uriel tends to use signs to get his messages across. I have to say, like most people, I say his because it's widely accepted primarily that Uriel is male, but I feel Uriel as a feminine presence, and it's a very soft presence, even though high frequency. And I just sense that, as even though angels and archangels are not male or female, Uriel has a more feminine energy to me. So I don't think it matters so much. I've never heard an archangel say, don't call me masculine, don't call me feminine. I think they just want you to call them. It's one of those deals. No joke at all. Most often, Uriel has been shown in art as masculine figure, and traditionally when you see art, and we're talking about medieval times, maybe even earlier than that, you see Uriel in a crimson tunic and leather breeches, which are pants, and boots. He's also shown more formally in armor of the same color, so it would be red armor with elaborate gold detailing. On my ad on Facebook for this show, I used an example of that from medieval times of how he traditionally is shown. So you can take a look at that. Uriel works closely with Archangel Haniel, so good to know that. And Uriel is associated with the planet Venus. So if you're into astrology, and you might want to know this, maybe this would be helpful for you or mean something special for you. He's not associated with a zodiac sign, but he is linked with the third chakra. So third chakra is the throat. So traditionally, if you need to work on your third chakra, it's that you're not speaking your truth. You are not telling people how you feel. You're not expressing your emotions, your needs. And that ends up causing trouble. So if you are having difficulty with that, if it's hard for you, if confrontation, necessary confrontation is difficult for you, that's a good reason to call in Archangel Uriel and ask them to open your third chakra and keep it wide open. When your voice gets unexplainably, I talk a lot, like not just like jibber jabbering, but during the day I'm seeing clients and talking. Sometimes I have clients at night, and then 2 talk shows, I talk a lot and my voice will get hoarse. But if your voice gets hoarse and there's no reason for it, or you feel like there's this lump there and there's nothing physical going on, I want you to think first about the fact that you probably have a third chakra issue, and ask Archangel Uriel again to just blast with that energy, blast that out of there, open it wide open for you. At first you might go a little overboard and speak too much of your truth. You know, sometimes when people hold things back for a long time and then they finally say what they've been feeling, they go overboard and they hurt people's feelings, they offend people. But it's too bad. You're not responsible for other people's feelings. However, it's the initial opening. It's been all the bottled emotions. So just be prepared. Maybe you can release that initial bottled up energy on somebody safe or in a different way, out in the forest by yourself, and then go speak your truth. Uriel says, this is something Uriel has said to me, and I want to pass it on. I am willing to help you if you ask me, but be prepared to do the work necessary to see the changes you desire. If your mind is calm and your heart is open, I will do everything in my power to assist you in eliminating negative energy, healing from natural disasters, finding peace within yourself and the world, learning how to give and receive graciously. Let me let somebody in the room here. And step out of low frequency emotions. So you're going to hear this. I mean, I hope you heard that part. I purposely emphasized that. Be prepared to do the work necessary. So it's sort of like, God helps he who helps himself. Teach a man to fish and he'll eat, for the rest of his life. Give a man a fish he eats for today. Teach a man to fish, he eats the rest of his life. So in this case, you're asking for assistance, but you are not expecting God to do all of that work for you. You're not expecting Archangel Uriel to carry the whole load. That's not realistic. So what Archangel Uriel is going to do, if you want help with these things, is he's going to calm you. He's going to clarify your thinking. He's going to inspire you for ideas of how to handle the situation. But you have to do the work. It's sort of like being on a spiritual journey. It's a lot. It's work. And one of the hardest things about being on a spiritual journey is becoming a better person. Because people ask me that all the time. They're like, well, when is it done? I'm like, I'll let you know when I cross over, because I honestly have no idea. I think it's an ongoing process, lifetime to lifetime, and certainly right now in this present life. It's something that I reflect on every day. At the end of the day, I think about what I did, what I said, how I felt, how I reacted, and I want to be a better person going forward. So I think that that's just the kind of thing that if you want help, you're going to have to do a lot of introspection. You're going to have to pay close attention to your thinking process and really focusing on the messages you get from Archangel Uriel, the ideas. And remember that when you ask for help, it's not like you're not likely to have this ray of light come down from heaven and Archangel Uriel swoops in and you see them and they make everything better. No, what's going to happen is you're going to start hearing messages, which you're going to hear in your head as a thought, and they're going to be powerful because an archangel doesn't mess around, and an archangel has the capability of communicating very clearly in their way. So you're going to hear these messages in your head like, you need to do this now, get out of here now, seek water, seek shelter, whatever it is. If you're in a natural disaster, they're going to tell you, like, get up on the roof. They're going to tell you something and just do it. Be prepared to do it. But they're also going to help you calm down so that you can deal with the disasters, so that you can figure out what to do, because you're going to be in shock. Everybody goes into shock when there's a natural disaster. And so then you just need a calming presence, and Uriel can give that to you. So I think finding peace within yourself and the world is such a huge one right now. It's very hard for people to find peace within themselves during this time. Every day at my office, seeing clients, I'm hearing it again and again, even from people who are spiritual leaders, people who've been doing this work for a very long time. They're having a hard time. So be gentle with yourself if you're feeling like it's hard for you to find peace. Peace begins within us. So no, it's kind of like happiness begins within us. So just as with happiness, that if you want to find happiness, no matter where you are, what's going on, you decide to be happy. You find a little spark of happiness and you decide that's what I'm going to be. It's not trite. I've done it myself. It does shift things and help you move forward. And the same thing with peace. You can't control what's going on with your neighbors, with the town, the city, the state, the world. But you can control what's going on for yourself. So you can slow things down. You can carve time out of your schedule to do meditation that definitely brings you some peace. Even if it's only during the meditation, that is something your body and your mind, your psyche needs. And give that to yourself. I've mentioned before, I'm going to tell you again, I have 3 guided meditations on my YouTube channel that anybody can use. They're not private or locked or anything. They go along with my book, but they're for anybody to use. And there's going to be more shortly. So there's one there to start your day at the highest frequency, one to open your chakras to the fullest level possible. And the other one is to help you break down barriers so you can communicate with your angels and guides. So do a guided meditation every day, or sit outside and just sit and be, which is a form of meditation. And meditation quiets your mind. It allows you to receive your own guidance and outside guidance from your guides better. When you've got distractions, if you're always staying busy, you always have noise going on around you, when are you supposed to receive your guidance? So just some thoughts. Some reasons, some of these I talked about, but when would be great times to call upon Archangel Uriel? So one, we talked about natural disasters or healing of the earth and the environment. I've mentioned that I've been an environmentalist since 82, 83, when the angels came in and showed me what's going to happen with the planet, with the environment, and I kicked it into high gear. My daughter and I were talking about this when I was visiting her in the Chicago area. She was telling her friends that she grew up, we'd take a trash bag and we'd go on walks through the woods or the neighborhood and we'd pick up trash everywhere we went. But it went much further than that. I worked in radio, and I was in charge of promotions, and I would organize cleanups of waterways and lakes and trails, and down in the cities, the stream that went through the city, and all kinds of places. I just went on a mission, and it really hasn't ended. I just keep on going with that, and now more than ever, it's very important to me. So if you're concerned about the environment, the air, the water, the food we eat, being healthy, Archangel Uriel is the perfect archangel to call upon for help. And when I do, because I do this work every night, I'm talking to her, and I thank you, Cynthia. Cynthia says, I love who you are and what you stand for, and I appreciate that. Some people Some people might not agree with that, but I just know what the angel showed me, and I see it happening. It's unfolding as they said and as they showed me. But it's a good one. It's a good one to ask, and you'll just start. Even if you want to find a passion within yourself to do something more, I find myself doing more things now personally. Every time I'm just constantly, like once a month, I think, what's something new I could do that will help the environment myself with how I eat, things I use, things I don't use anymore, things of that sort. So, and things I buy, that's a big one. And I'm going to start doing some videos about that because my angels won't leave me alone about it. They want me to occasionally do something about what the individual can do. So I will address that. I will, Archangel Uriel. Peace, tranquility, world peace. I mean, nothing is too big for an archangel to intervene and make a big difference with. So things that feel overwhelming to you, like what's everything happening in our country and the world right now, it's overwhelming for just about everybody, and people are worn down. And I'm hearing even strong spiritual people telling me that over the last year they had thoughts of, if it's close to my time, could you just go ahead and take me? And I've had thoughts like that. I'm going to admit that, just like I'm just so tired. I just get so drained from all of this chaos. But I always remind myself, it's not that easy. I know I'm here for a reason, and I know I need to continue helping people, and I'm not going to stop my mission early. I have gone through a lot, and by golly, I'm going to see this through to the end. So if you're getting into one of those spaces where it just feels like you can't go on anymore, and it's really not a suicidal ideation, it's your spirit being so depleted. So it's your spirit crying out for some help. Do some salt baths, rejuvenate yourself, get yourself a grounding pad, or do earthing outside. Those things are huge. There's other things that you can do too that are going to help you, but Archangel Uriel is a big one to feel better quickly. And if you're really in a bad place, if it's really overwhelming to you, talking to you empaths, my fellow empaths out there, if you're feeling like there's this tidal wave of negativity washing over you, you need Archangel Uriel more than anybody. So just don't be afraid. Archangels are there for everybody. They can be with everyone in the world all at the same time, if need be, and they have been. And you don't ever have to worry that you're taking time away from somebody else by asking for help from an archangel regularly. If you need it, you need it. And that archangel is going to know that, and they're going to be thrilled to help you, because the only thing that makes angels and archangels sad is when we forget our connection, when we don't ask for their help. So another thing is when you want to open up to giving and receiving. We talked about that. Again, light workers are fantastic at giving and helping, but they even have trouble receiving compliments. And you can always tell when you give someone a compliment, like, you look great today. Oh, this whole thing, no, that's not. when you get a compliment, just thank you. It's a good response. But it's hard for them to take, or if somebody offers to help them, maybe they're going out of town. Can I water your plants for you? And they will go to extreme methods to come up with a way to water their plants themselves while they're gone. Allow people to help you. You are helping people. They are trying to help you. And it doesn't feel good when people genuinely want to help you and you won't let them. And it's not good for your spiritual growth to be closed to receiving. If you have trouble giving, if you feel like you want to be more generous, and it doesn't have to be with money. Not everything is about money. Time is more precious. Our time is the most precious thing we have. So you could give of your time to something that you're passionate about, something that means something to you or a family member. Or I don't care what it is. If you want to donate money to starving children, whatever really you're passionate about. If you want to do more of that, if you want to be a more giving, gracious, caring person in that way, Archangel Uriel can help you with that as well. Because the reason somebody wouldn't be is that they do have those barriers, whether they're conscious or subconscious, So you might not even be aware of them, but most people are. They just don't know why they have that. They might wonder, why don't I feel generous when my friends are? If it's bothering you, that's a sign that you want to make a change, that it's time to make a change. Noticing something about yourself is the first step towards making meaningful change. And then, of course, taking steps to make the change is absolutely essential. And that's the hard part, but you can do it. We can all do that. Another thing is overcoming challenges. Right now, most people have some pretty significant challenges. They've got illness, or they've lost loved ones, they've lost their housing, their jobs. Things are starting to grind back up again, kind of moving back up towards where we were before COVID. And even before that, though, there's people in all kinds of challenges dealing with health issues for themselves or a loved one, financial issues, all kinds of things. Challenges happen. I mean, at this point in life, but long before now, I've realized that when everything's going great, when your work feels wonderful, you're happy, you feel good health-wise, everything's good with your family, cherish that moment, because those little peaceful, even moments between are the rarities. And then there's usually challenges. And the more people in your life, the more challenges you're dealing with. And it's okay, just roll with it, because that's part of life. But whatever your challenge may be, ask Archangel Uriel to come in and help you, and be specific with what you need. What I think is very important is not to tell the Archangel how to do it, but just let's say you have a sick child. Archangel Uriel, I'm asking that you intervene on my behalf and heal my sick child, and I'll leave it at that. You don't want to say, raise their blood count to this or something, or if you need money, don't try to tell them, bring me money through my work. No, let them figure it out. They are so much more creative, and they can see so many other paths to your desire than you could imagine. So just tell them what you need, and then let it go. Every day, ask for it until you receive it. If it's coming from a good place in your heart, and it's not selfish, it's not egotistical, they're going to help you with that. It's just that even if you think nothing's happening, you have to understand that there could be things happening, a lot of things happening behind the scenes that you can't see, you're not aware of, and then all of a sudden, you've been helped. So don't think that they don't hear you or they don't care about your troubles. That's not the case at all. So I want to give you some invocations that are specific for Archangel Uriel, but I want to give you a few little hints, things you can do to make your request to Archangel Uriel more powerful. So before you make one of these requests, just take a moment to go inward, and so you get into that meditative state. And if you can hold a piece of amber, tiger's eye, or rutilated quartz, that's all stones associated with Archangel Uriel. And if you're into essential oils, some that would be really good to diffuse would be, pick one or two: frankincense, lavender, patchouli, peppermint, or rosemary essential oil. So you just put them in a diffuser nearby and get that scent in the air, because those scents have a lot to do with ramping up the requests that you're making and the results that you get. Slow your breathing down. I'm a big fan of deep breathing in through the nose and then long, slow through the mouth. You're calming your body, you're calming your mind, and then you say this invocation. And this is what I'll put. These are things I'm going to put on the websites, my blogs, so that you can see them. Uriel, I ask you to enter this space and connect with me energetically as and then what it is you need help with. Please transmute any negative energy in my life into positive energy. Let me step out of the low frequency emotion of fear. Help me to become a light in the darkness and stand in my power as an awakened spiritual being. I thank you for honoring me with your presence and divine assistance, Uriel. And you say that because you can be certain Archangel Uriel heard you. He is with you. He's going to respond and help you with your request. And that you can relax. Do it every day. And mostly you do that to make yourself feel better. But Archangel Uriel's already on it. Like I said, working behind the scenes, doing things that we can't even imagine. And that's why we hand it over to an archangel, right? Because it's gone beyond our control. We don't know what more to do, right? We're mere mortals, and we run out of ideas and energy and time. And so thankfully we have archangels to come in and help us when we get in a position like that. So here's another one. This one is specific for inspiration. So I like this one for creative people. When I say artists, I truly mean creative people of all kinds. So not just people who paint and draw and sketch, singers, writers, if you do anything creative or you just need ideas. My goodness, I can think of a million different professions that require good ideas. So inspiration for anything, and even inspiration for a solution to something, a dilemma that you're facing. So you would go through the same things. You can hold the stone, diffuse the essential oils, and you're going to say, and always, let me just say, put these in your own words. Get the general idea, but put these in your own words because you need to feel comfortable about this. You need to feel comfortable saying it. It needs to feel natural to you. Cynthia says, thank you for posting them because I couldn't write fast enough. No, and I'm trying to speak slowly, but I am realistic on this. I'm a fast note taker and I can't do it either. So these will be on a blog post so that you can get them. I want you to have these in your toolbox. So this one's for inspiration. Archangel Uriel, please enter now and help me to receive inspiration. I am in need of vision and creativity. Guide me to be an open channel for illumination in all areas of my life. Help me to see new possibilities, come up with unique solutions, and avoid doing things the way I have always done them. I am ready to climb out of that rut and receive sparks of innovation which change how I see the world, myself, and situations around me. Let me receive ideas which will shift me forward on my spiritual journey. Please help me to become a positive force of exciting change. Let my insights be strong and leave no doubt in my mind that they are right and true. Please spur my own creative ability to take the inspiration you provide and bring those ideas to fruition. Archangel Uriel, thank you for your presence and your kind assistance in bringing me inspiration. I use this one. Yes, I wrote it, but angels helped me write this, and I use it because I've always been a very creative person, but there's times when I get run down, tired, or overworked, and it's hard to come up with ideas. I've got multiple blogs and the 2 talk shows and all kinds of things that I'm involved in that require creativity, and I love that. Wouldn't trade it for the world. But if you get stuck, that writer's block, which can happen with anything. My good friend Melissa is a fabulous painter, and she'll go through blocks sometimes where she just doesn't feel like painting or can't think of what she wants to paint. Any kind of blockage like that involves your creativity, this is a great one to do. And you're going to find that you start receiving the inspiration you need. Things start flowing again, and you don't have to rack your brain. You don't have to make it feel like pulling teeth. And I'm guilty of that. I do that to myself, and then I'm like, hey, wait a minute. How about we ask Archangel Uriel? So let's go on to another one. This is for new ideas. And this is mostly about you've tried something, it didn't work. You've tried what you've always done, it doesn't work. The people involved in this, whatever the dilemma is, have no idea what to do. So you just need a new direction to take. We all get stuck sometimes. And this is not necessarily about creativity, but just in general, new ideas. Archangel Uriel, I invite you into this space to assist me with new ideas. My own creativity is blocked, and yet inspiration is needed for my personal and professional projects. Help me to expand my mind, my creative vision, and allow me to see new ideas and unexpected sources. Assist me in being receptive to new concepts and giving them full consideration so I do not reject a great solution just because it is unfamiliar to me. Please give me insight into the situations I face so I may pick up on nuances which went unnoticed before. Help me to interpret things differently and be open to non-judgmental brainstorming. Remove ego from my energy so that I may be focused on ideas and solutions and not who gets the credit. Free my mind from cluttering thoughts, intrusive distractions, so I may remain concentrated on coming up with new ideas, responding to the flashes of discernment I am given, and make meaningful progress in my life. Archangel Uriel, thank you for your presence and your loving help with new ideas. There's something in there that I want to emphasize too, a couple things. Being open to non-judgmental brainstorming, and I think that's being open to giving it as well. So you want to give feedback to people, but you want to do it in a way that doesn't crush them, that doesn't embarrass, humiliate them. It's about, if you want to give feedback on something or ideas about what someone said, their project, whatever, it needs to be coming from a place of, I want to help you make this better. I want it to be as great as you can make it, and I have an idea for that and nothing else. And so that also comes with taking that non-judgmental feedback, and I love it. Probably didn't when I was younger, but I love it now because I feel secure that I know I don't take things personally very rarely, and thank you to the Four Agreements book for that. But I look at that as a gift because not a lot of people will give you feedback. It's sort of like writing my book and people buying it and few people write a review. I want to hear, because how do you know where you can improve? How do you know what's resonating for somebody with anything if you don't get feedback, if you don't hear from them? So for me, it's more about an educational system, like, okay, I'm on track, or here, oh, I need to clarify that, or when I write my next book, I need to be careful I don't do that. And, of course I want the next one to be better than the first one. That's the Virgo in me. That's not going to go anywhere. So not having ego, I want to talk about that for a minute, because it's not about not having an ego like you don't think that you do good work. It's about not getting into a place of ego. So anything that you do, if you really want to make a difference for people and in the world, one of the most important things is that you don't let yourself go into a place of ego. Oh, I'm so great. I'm so special. I'm the one, all of these things. It's like you step into that and you're no longer channeling the light purely. That opens a window to some darkness, and I think it's a dangerous place. It's a slippery slope to allow yourself to become egotistical. So that's something to be careful about. You may be fantastic at whatever you do, whatever we're talking about, your talent, your job, even being a parent, you may be awesome at it, but be awesome and be proud of yourself, but not I'm better than other people. So it's just to keep you in the light, as much in the light as possible, and helping people as wonderfully as you can by avoiding that. So another one, invocation for intellectual pursuits. Archangel Uriel, be with me now as I seek guidance in my intellectual pursuits. I desire to make purposeful progress in my schooling and career. Help me to open my mind and maintain that open mind so I may absorb as much knowledge and wisdom as possible. Let that which cannot be retained consciously be stored in my subconscious, so it benefits my life to the greatest extent achievable. I ask that you assist me to be receptive and eager to learn as much as I can. Help me to find the sources of knowledge and wisdom which best serve me on my journey and with my life purpose. Let me hear and see the powerful archangel and angelic guidance available to me through my days and follow it promptly. Help me to feel trust in my inner knowledge, the angelic guidance I receive, and know that I am being lovingly advised every step of the way. Archangel Uriel, thank you for your presence and your unfailing guidance with my intellectual pursuits. Again, change the words. Maybe it's going to be, I need purposeful progress in my class I'm taking. I need purposeful progress in mentorship I'm doing. Whatever the right words, change it to work for you. Let's see, we got a comment. Thank you, Cynthia. She says she knows so many who are caught up in this idea that they are leveling up, and it feels like they think they're better than others. And they're not bad people. They're just gone into ego. And hopefully that they're going to see that, or something's going to bring it to their attention that, you need to step back from that little edge, and hopefully that happens for them. It doesn't for everybody. Some people, it's all about the ego for them, and that's part of their path. I don't judge them for it. That's part of their path. They're right where they're supposed to be at this moment. But you need to be on guard for yourself and people that you're asking for advice and guidance from, that you do not feel that from them. So that's all we can really do. We can't really police other people other than the police. So I have one more for you today, and this one is for encouragement. And my gosh, I just want to send this out to every one of you today, just to encourage you to stand strong, to feel hope in your heart that things are going to get better. I told somebody yesterday at the office, but the angels are very clear that 2022 is a year when things start to shift. The energy is better. People start calming down. Less strife, less chaos, less anger, less war kind of behaviors. So things are calming down, and on a personal level as well as a world level. So everything shifts next year, and it's coming soon. So hold tight, hold the faith. It's not going to be like this forever. So this is an invocation to Archangel Uriel for encouragement with whatever you need. Archangel Uriel, I need you to be with me now as I request encouragement from you. Please lift my spirits and fill my heart and mind with a strong sense of hope. Help me to feel a spark of optimism within me and build that over time into a major awakening. Please give me a sense of reassurance that I will be well and that all things are happening in my best and highest good. Give me insight into myself and my experiences so that I can recreate myself as the confident person of faith I desire to be. I ask that you motivate me to seek people and activities which will bring me joy and self-esteem into my life. Guide me to places of natural beauty and healing energy which will help me find peace and balance. Help me to see my beauty, strengths, and gifts. Urge me to improve my areas of weakness and forgive myself for those that cannot be changed. Archangel Uriel, thank you for your presence and your kind gift of encouragement. And when I say, help me to see my beauty, I'm not talking about how you look in the mirror. I'm talking about the beauty of your soul, your personality, your intentions, what you're bringing to the people in your life, to the world, that kind of beauty. The rest of it is very surface, and while it's lovely to have it, nice to look at, it is not the kind of beauty that's going to make big changes in the world or other people's lives. So don't think I'm asking you to get a facelift or something or anything like that. I hope that these are helpful for you. I think these are probably the main ones when I was thinking about or the kind of reasons I would normally call on Archangel Uriel. What you will feel when Uriel comes to you is this warmth. Like, I always feel this sense of warmth and that soft feminine energy, even though the frequency is high and powerful. It's a soft feminine energy to me, but you feel free to call Archangel Uriel a he. I don't think Uriel cares. So just some thoughts for you. And again, I will put these invocations on the blog on my Ivory Angelic Medium website so that you can have them for yourself and make use of them I think they're going to help you. Please, again, reword them to fit your circumstance and to feel comfortable. If it's not a word you want to say or feel like you want to say, change it. You're not going to hurt my feelings. It's just something to kind of guide you along. And I think that you're going to enjoy the changes that these invocations can bring for you where maybe you couldn't get it any other way. So, next week, please tune in. I'm going to be talking about keeping an angel journal and what that means, what that does for you. In the meantime, I hope you have an absolutely beautiful week. May your angels surround you, protect you, and may you feel them always.